social media in your job. You have the right to post whatever you want to on social media, but you are not free from consequences, good or bad, from those actions. So a company is going to protect their investment. And that investment can be anything they deem that is important or critical, essential to the operation of their business. It could be equipment. It could be cultivating customer accounts. It could be other employees. Whatever, you name it, that's what it is. So companies have social media policies to specifically protect their image and their customers, and proprietary technologies or procedures or whatever. So you come along, and I'm going to put it specifically to trucking because that seems to be a bulk of my followers, which is cool. So you come along and you're riding down the road and you're not wearing a seatbelt and you're live streaming or videoing yourself driving without your seatbelt on. Seatbelt use in a CMV has been a thing for quite a few years now, and it carries a quite a heavy penalty for you and your company if you don't do it. So that's deemed as unsafe, that's deemed as illegal, and if you're breaking the law, that's deemed as also being immoral activity. So the company can not only get in trouble for your actions, but their customers can see you doing it and see that, hey, we recognize that equipment, we saw that person on our lot, we can't have them being unsafe, immoral, illegal activity, we're going to cancel the contract. It doesn't have to just be not wearing a seatbelt. It could be videotaping you speeding. It could be videotaping blowing scales, blowing red lights, bragging and joking about running cars off the road, about cutting people off, about tailgating. You name it, whatever it is that can be seen in a negative light by a company, that can get you fired. That could cause you a contract, right? You're a single truck owner operator and you got a couple contracts you haul exclusively for them. You don't play the broker board, but you do something on social media and they start to receive blowback. They're going to cut you. They will. That's right. You are not sacred. They will sacrifice you to save their business. There's always competition. Always somebody looking for a leg up, however they can get it to take your customer. So keep that in mind when you post. Yes, you're free to post. No, you're not free from the consequences. A case in point about optics is I was sitting in a meeting with a company, and we had some people come in that managed large product shipment for Microsoft and Google. And they came to the company I worked for because we had a specific kind of trailer that could do it. And we had several of those, that style trailer, and those were needed. But Microsoft and Google was very, very, very adamant about the carriers must be safe, legal, compliant, moral, because they did not want the PR nightmare, the optics issues of having somebody that was not. And if you did not comply with those criteria, you would not be used. Another company I worked for several years ago, the guy who the company was named after got himself in some trouble out west, and as a result, FreightWaves did an article, was actually a hit piece on the company because they were backed by U.S. Express. U.S. Express had an axe to grind with this company because a lot of management from U.S. Express had come to this company because they didn't like how U.S. did business. They wanted to do something new, and it was working. And there's about 50 trucks. As a result of the article, and 100% due to optics, this company in 48 hours lost $6 to $8 million in annual contract from just a couple accounts. That just about sank the company, right? They had to go through several years of rebranding and rebuilding to save the company. Matter of fact, I'd probably still be at that company if this didn't happen. So optics is huge. No company wants their name tied into negative optics for the very same reason that your employer doesn't want you out there doing stuff that's going to put them in a bad light. They don't want tied to a civil lawsuit. They don't want tied to doing business with somebody that is doing something illegal, immoral, or whatever. They'll cut you. So keep in mind, there are social media policies. They're there for a reason, and you need to know them. And if you don't know them, you need to ask. You need to ask for a copy of them and ask specifics. Like if the social media policy they give you, if you have questions, or if you look at it, you're like, hey, I know what I do is not specifically outlined here, but let me make sure that they're good so I don't get in trouble or cause them problems. And some will say, if you think you shouldn't do it, don't post it. Does not apply, because people have been posting things that they think have been perfectly fine and they've been fired for it and they don't understand why, or they lost a contract and they're like, why? I didn't do anything wrong. They think that what they posted was good. And actually, it was not. And you could post a video that's 100% a perfect recruiting video for your company. It could be so good, edited, so great. But the very next post you put up, and it could have absolutely nothing to do with your job, with the industry you're in. It could be absolutely a personal video of you doing something, and that could have blowback also because your association with your employer or your association with contracts you have with other companies. So keep that in mind. Find your social media policies, know your social media policies, know how to abide by your social media policies, and fully understand that because of image, because of optics, because of competition, because of the way the markets are, that the blowback could very well cost you your job, and you should be prepared for that. With that, happy trucking. Be safe.